Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're talking about 10 things I love about the Model Y, and I guess also about moving over to own an electric vehicle or an EV. So the first one is zero lag and all torque. So coming from a performance Golf, you only get the maximum power on launch control to have a hard launch. But on an EV, you step down and you are good to go. So we're at the traffic lights now, red light, first car, and it's just amazing power. Here we go. Oh! So already at the speed limit, and this is the 80 zone, so already on 70 something. So yeah, you can see, or actually I don't know if you can see, but left behind plenty of other cars. So you've got all the power when you need it, and it's effortless when you need to overtake, and it's just a fantastic concept to have zero lag. The second thing I love is the overall storage in this car. There are just so many extra big spots that you've got for your storage. So I mean, the key differences are, so you've got your normal glove box, and I've got a tray, which means it's got two layers over there. I'll do a video overlay of what I mean. You've got the front storage compartment just below the charging pads. Because there's no, I guess, engine per se, you've then got your front as storage, and then in your boot you've got your normal boot storage, but then you've also got the under partial shelf storage section as well. So there's just so much space for a car of this size that I just feel is so good. So the third thing that I absolutely love about this car is just the fact that in the second row, the seats can recline. So it's such a small thing, but in terms of, I guess, adjusting kid seat positions, or when adults are sitting there, when we take the kid seats out, it's just nice to have that little adjustment just for the ergonomics, or just to get the kid seat sitting right in that perfect position. And yeah, look, not every car does that. A lot of cars, from where it's at in the normal position, it's just upright, and then the only other place you could move it really is if you want to pull down the whole second row, so you've got a full pass through to have storage in the back. So it's really good that you've got a couple of click settings for the second row. So the next thing I want to talk about is preconditioning in the morning. Now, especially useful, and I've only just started using this recently, during winter. How great is it to be able to start your morning off by coming into a warm car that's already at the right temperature, to help you ease through, I guess, navigating through traffic or whatever it is. It's just so nice. And you don't have to worry about, I park my car, thankfully I can park my car inside the garage, so we're okay from, I guess, a frost or ice perspective. But there are times where I'm sure for others, if you don't have this preconditioning in the morning, that you'd wake up and there'd be ice all over your car, or fog or mist or whatever you call it. And so it's just nice to be able to set the time that you're going to head out, and to have that gone. Alright, so the next one we've got here is in relation to the phone as a key. So essentially it's using the app, how you can register your phone as a key. It honestly opens a whole new world of convenience for the user. So, lots of different instances when you could use it. It could potentially be, and again, this is very specific scenarios that I'm kind of giving you guys in terms of where I've found the benefits to be. Something as simple as just being able to leave the house. I know for a fact I will always have my phone on me. It's just nice to know that we don't need to grab another set of keys. You also have, and this is a very minor thing, but don't have to worry about replacing batteries, because for our other car recently I've had to replace both batteries, and yeah, that's one minor thing. Other major conveniences of having the phone as a key is if you ever do need someone else to potentially drive it, what you can essentially do is through your phone you can actually remote start. So you could have someone someone else on the phone to you, and if there's anything you need them to do, whether it's lock, unlock, or you need to start the car so that they could drive it for a little bit, you could do all of that as well. And so what that means is you don't have to worry about losing a key. And I know that yes, you've got the credit card key, but the convenience doing everything from the phone just works so much better. And you know, I don't travel overseas a lot myself, or even interstate, but even if you're just away from the car and you need to have someone access the car or drive the car or to move it, it just enables you to do all of that. And that's just so convenient. And also, you know, my wife and I, we go out, we've got kids as well, and it's just convenient knowing that either of us, when we're out shopping, we could always go back and drop things off at the car. Or if one of us needs to just take the car out and they need to go somewhere else, I could always go to wherever the car is, and I could just pick it up without needing to take another set of keys, and I could just go. And on that note, the location function, being able to see your car at any given time, what a win. It's pretty much another level of security, another layer of safety to take into consideration when you're buying another car. Like at any point in time, you'll know where your car is, assuming that of course there's a solid connection, cellular connection. But yeah, for the most part, wherever you are, you'll know where your car is. So how good is that? Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is Sentry Mode. So look, it's not perfect, but the fact that you do have Sentry Mode kind of is a game changer for a lot of people. I've been using a dash cam for probably about 11 years in all my cars, so it's not something that is new to me. However, there's a really big difference in terms of having Sentry Mode versus having a dash cam in your car. And I'll quickly talk you through what I mean. So having a dash cam means it's a third-party device. It's connected to your car. You can wire it up, you can hardwire it so that it's permanently always recording. It's got functions where you can switch to event mode when it detects a crash or when it detects bumps and so forth. And that's all fantastic. And you can also program it so that when you get back to your car, that it tells you how many events it's recorded. Now, the issue with that is if you park in, say, for example, a shopping centre, it will continuously record and it may flag everything as an event for just cars going through that are actually quite far away. But it's because it's detected that, it will take that into consideration as an event. And then it's not always something that you have on your screen readily available. So what you'll need to do is, in most cases, you'll have to connect via Wi-Fi into your dash cam to then look through all the media and so forth. And then, you know, here in Sydney, Australia, we're in different time zones. So you know, we've got daylight savings that occurs 2 times a year that we need to switch in and out. And so if you don't do if you don't mess around with the settings there to make sure you've got the right time, that essentially means that the specific timestamp is not accurate. And so Sentry Mode, having it linked to the car, is perfect because date time stamped, and it also only triggers when someone's really, really close to you. So I think it's fantastic. The other thing as well is remote viewing is fantastic. So the fact that you're able to, I guess, check on your car or check on the surroundings while you're out really does give you a peace of mind. Just in case you weren't aware though, and you're new to this or you haven't received your car yet, there is a 15-minute limit per day. So Tesla obviously doesn't expect people to be sitting there and watching footage for a whole 15 minutes every single day, but just know that based on the agreement I believe that they have with Telstra, who's a SIM card provider for the Tesla vehicles, there is a 15-minute limit per day. So if you exceed that limit, you won't be able to view it anymore remotely. So just pretty much my recommendation is check what you need, have a quick look, shut it off. There's no need to be constantly monitoring your car in that instance. But yeah, as I said, the fact that you've got cameras around the car and you can remotely look at it is fantastic. And then once you get back to your car, I like how it also gives you a summary of how many events has been triggered, so that you can kind of look through all of that as well. The downside to that is that you actively kind of see how many recordings you have or how many Sentry Mode incidents that there is. And if you're like me, you might get FOMO, and so you park in the shopping centre. If it shows you that, say you've been shopping for a couple of hours or even an hour, if you park near the entrance, most likely you're going to have a whole set of Sentry events triggered. And are you really going to sit there and look at every single one? I've started to relax a bit on that, but at the same time, you're kind of like, there's Sentry Mode events, I want to have a look at it. So the next thing I love is just the fact that the car is essentially like a computer, and also that Tesla hasn't just taken into consideration that this thing is just a vehicle that goes from A to B. They've taken into consideration things to ensure that you've got a really great user experience, and you're enjoying the car, even if you are just sitting in the car and waiting to charge. And so what I mean by that is things like having the theatre, having the toy box as well. Those are really, really good additions to kill time, whether you're waiting for your partner to do shopping or whether you're waiting to have your car ready from charging, from going out, anything like that. So we'll pull up this quick video here. So yeah, things like in your entertainment, you've got toy box, you've got colorizer, light show, emissions, tracks, romance mode, sketchpad, rainbow road, those little gimmicky things. Then going to arcade, you can see quite a few games that you've got. And Stardew Valley as an example, I know some people play many hours for that, and even something like Cuphead, like it's just great games that you can just play with even 2 players, and it's a fantastic way to kill time. And you've got theatre mode as well, so being able to watch Netflix, Disney, YouTube, it's kind of the world is your oyster. You've got so much entertainment that you can have and you can use at any given point in time. It's just great to see that they've factored that in. And also, besides having like the theatre and the toy box, you've also got the web browser. So, you could read the news on there on the bigger screen if you don't want to use your phone. And then you've got karaoke as well. And now they've also introduced a Zoom. So, you could potentially have meetings in your car if you need to. But you shouldn't. But Tesla, if you ever see this, you should introduce Microsoft Teams onto here as well. Because the thing I love about the Model Y is probably also the reason why it's one of the best and safest cars out there that you can get, and it's the most popular car in the world. I love the fact that you have so much aftermarket support for all the accessories that you can get in the car. I mean, let's just look at something as simple as floor mats. There's you go online and you could look for countless number of companies. You've got screen protectors, you've got various trays. I've gone through a bunch of various accessories that I've had in my car, so I'll put some of the links below in that video too if you haven't seen that, or I'll link one up with unboxing of, I guess, a big set of accessories that I've recently got. But yeah, the list goes on. You've got trays, you've got cup holder stuff, you've got various sunshade covers. There's just an infinite number of accessories that you could potentially get, and I'm just grateful because what I do love about the car is I love being able to choose. I love having choice, and with the internet these days, people put a lot of their feedback on, so it's really quick and easy to be able to determine and understand what's great, what's not great, and things or brands that you might want to avoid. And apologies if you hear any, I guess, background noise now, just going through a bit of a rough road section. And so the next one I love is software updates. And this, of course, isn't just specific to the Model Y, it's also for the Model 3, and I'm sure that Model S and X owners are also getting the same. I'll have to put on the screen, I'll have to do a review and check how many software updates I've had since I've owned it. But I can tell you that there's been quite a fair few, and even though I've covered off things that I don't like about the car already in a previous video, and again I'll link that up here now if that's something you want to see, there's already been a couple of improvements on things that I actually didn't like that have now been fixed that I didn't even get to document. So I guess a good example of that is current drive. You used to not be able to see how many minutes it's been since you've driven the car. The recent software update fixed that. So now you swipe on the bottom right across and you can see how many minutes it's been since you've been driving. So if you need to if you just want to have a look, if if you feel like you're stuck in traffic for a long time, or you just got to your destination and you're late, it's always not just nice to know and to have a figure there to know how long it's been since you've started driving. So that was that one. And yeah, there was also the other one around fixing fan speeds. I had this issue, or I felt it was an issue, where I always had to go into the screen, had to touch the screen, get my eyes off the road to look and to control the fans. Now they've implemented the fix where you can have controls straight from your steering wheel. So you hold down the left button and you can adjust various things from there. And so it's fantastic that Tesla have taken on the feedback and to make that fix. And so really, software updates is something that I'm just so glad that they've got, and they really have nailed. And it's the best thing as well is it's because software update, over the air and seamless experience. When it's ready, it prompts you on the app that you can update, or in the car, you update it and then it's all done. I know that with some legacy manufacturers, you still potentially have to go into the dealership. So schedule some time out of your day, so you drop it off, wait there, or you have to go back, and it's just not as seamless in some instances. Next thing I want to talk about that I absolutely love is the cost to fill up, or the cost to charge. What can I say? Petrol is expensive. Yes, there's the fuel excise, and yes, there's a whole big issue going on where we need to work out what the EV tax is in the future. But I'll cut the video here and I'll talk through a separate section on how much it's costed me to fill up, and I'll give you a comparison of what that comparison looks like compared to the petrol car. Okay, so let's talk charging costs. So I'll put a screen overlay up here next to me. I've picked this car up in around February this year, and so far I've charged 1,311 kilowatt hours and spent roughly $64. Now, just for context, I haven't actually spent $64 out of pocket, I guess. It's probably half of that amount, and the other half, really, because I've been charging through solar, is just a potential loss from the feed-in tariff that I don't get because I'm charging the car instead. So overall, charge time about 39% of the time. I've driven to work and charged there a couple of times, which is only 4%. The one supercharger time was the 3%, and then 54% other, which has just been charging in, I guess, shopping centres or out and about when we have seen a charger wherever the destination was. So what you can see here, petrol savings, $1,004 roughly, which meant the petrol equivalent was $1,068. For context, this car should have replaced our Volkswagen Mark 7 Golf R. So I did, I think, off the top of my head, about $1.90 for petrol as the equivalent comparison for 98 RON. And so you can see fairly significant amount there. So in terms of ongoing costs, I mean, this has been about 5 months, so I'd say double that at least for savings per year. So moving towards an EV is going to definitely save you money in the long term, and that was definitely one of the reasons why I considered moving over through to electric. And so overall, saved $1,004, which was roughly $1,068 petrol equivalent. And yeah, so it's fairly significant savings, right? In terms of ongoing costs or running costs for the car. And that does need to be factored into your consideration when you are buying an EV. Whilst it's potentially a couple of $1,000 you're saving there, I think the one call out I'd like to just quickly say for any potential buyers or guys that are picking it up, factor insurance into your ongoing overall running costs as well, because depending on where you live and your own circumstances, because insurance is unique to everyone, you may potentially need to look into that because costs could be a lot more than your ICE equivalent. And so that wraps it up for the 10 things I love about my Tesla or Model Y or moving over to an electric vehicle. If I've missed anything or you agree with anything, drop a comment down below. Keen to hear what you guys love about your EV or your Model Y or Model 3 or anything at all. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. And yeah, we'll see you soon.